So I'm tired. I'm physically tired. I'm tired all the time. I'm tired of everything. I slept like 10 hours last night. I fell asleep on the Golden Globes at like 9 o'clock. I've never done that in my life. That, like, I just was a movie buff to the degree of being so involved in what movie was winning and talking about it all the time. Like that, I spent most of my time talking about movies online. And I just fell asleep on the Golden Globes last night. And I'm just like, who are you? But I'm tired, you know? I'm tired all the time. And I fell asleep. I woke up like 11:30. Must have fallen right back asleep. Woke up. There was a Twilight Zone. I must have changed the channel because Twilight Zone was on. I was seeing the end of Eye of the Beholder, and then the next one started, and I thought I was watching that, but then I woke up and it was Alfred Hitchcock, and the guy saved the kid, and then he became a pain in the ass to the parents who like wanted to help him out. Then I fell asleep again. Then I woke up at some point in the middle, and then I woke up 6 for like a second, and then I looked at the clock and it was 6:59, and I'm like, so I basically, I mean, I think I got up to go to the bathroom like twice, but basically I slept from 9 to 7. Now, a lot of times when I fall asleep early, I'll wake up 3 o'clock in the morning or something. Like, say I fall asleep at 8 o'clock, which is terrible. I'll wake up 3 o'clock, and then I'll just stay up, you know, and just do whatever internet stuff I would watch stuff online or whatever I would have done had I been awoke earlier. But it's getting like I have no control, and this has been like since November. I've had no control over when I sleep. Like, I can't say, all right, I'm going to stay up, and then I'll be tired. No, it's like, I'm tired, that's it. I'm going to sleep. And so I'm tired. I wake up a lot of times, like, sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, I feel really bad. Like, I guess my anxiety comes out at night, because, like, I'll feel like my heart's solid. And then, I had a lot to be worried about. And then, I don't want to wake up. I don't want to deal with the day, and then I get up this morning with the attitude, because I had to figure out which bill I was going to pay. Then I started thinking of, well, what if I do this and that? So I decided, all right, that's what I'm going to do. So I called, do what I got to do, and then I'm like, you know what, I can go. I had sent a thing, certified mail, right? And like I said, I said it before, that's why I said, like I said, they didn't certify it. Like, I sent it, paid the extra money, the extra $360, and it got there. And I know it got there because I got a response from the people I sent it to. It's a collection agency, so it's important. That's why I wanted to get certified mail, to prove that not only did I send it, but it got there. But I kept checking the tracking. No, so I sent an email to the, made a complaint thingy on the post office thing, and the lady said, oh, well, since you said they got it, they must have got it. Sorry for the inconvenience. And I'm like, that was like, oh, this is resolved. And I'm like, no, it's not. I want my money back, because, hey, $360 is a lot to me for nothing. Because I didn't get any. I needed proof, right? So then I was pissed off that that's the response I got. And then I get a survey about the customer service response. I'm like, no, it sucked, right? And then one of the questions on the survey part is, well, did you go to the actual post office? And I'm like, we're in pandemic, right? We're not supposed to go anywhere. I had gone to the post office in the first place, obviously, but you're supposed to try to do as much online and everything else like that, which, like I said, I'm already having a nightmare calling people on the phone. So what happens? So I decide, all right, today, because everything is as bad as it is, and, we didn't get any stimulus checks or anything like that, I'm going to have to try to, and I'm shuffling bills, which one to pay, which one not to pay, which phone to have on, stuff like that. I mean, I still have the house phone. I've always kept it because of emergencies. I only have local service on that. I can't call long distance or anything, right? So I'm trying to figure out everything, and then I decide what I'm going to do. I do it to the best of my ability. I feel okay. Now I'm gonna go try to see if I can get this 360 back, because I'm going to the post office, which I could have done in the first place, I guess. So I go there, right? And I also wanted to ask them another question, because I was trying to sell something on eBay that I was only going to sell locally because it's heavy. It's a leaf blower, right? So I was going to sell it, and I didn't want to ship it because I don't know how to ship a leaf blower, you know what I mean? And the original package is all like glossy pictures and stuff. I would have to repackage it and do all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't know, and calculate the shipping, right? So it's just been sitting on eBay to be bought since last summer, right? So yesterday, when I'm desperate for money, somebody's like, well, would you ship this to this place? And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Because I said only, local stuff. And I've had problems with eBay and bullshit before, like fake offers. So I was just like, I said, I will try to ask when I go. I'm going to go to the post office about this certified mail. When I'm there, I'm going to ask them. Right? So the lady I'm talking to sends me to, I guess, the supervisor to try to get a refund or not. Right? And then the guy's like, oh, well, I can't do that. Here, can you, here's the phone number. So now I gotta call somebody on the phone. All I did was send certified mail. They should have zapped it. My life would be done. No, my life would be done. That'd be great. But this whole problem shouldn't have happened, because that's what you're supposed to do with certified mail. I don't have the proof or anything like that, but apparently it was delivered. So I went through the whole thing already online. Filled out the super survey about how that wasn't a good enough answer. Go down there, talk to the lady. She sends me to the supervisor, says he doesn't have the authority to give me a rebate for $3.60. Sends me home with the phone number for the claims department. I'm like, all right. Didn't the government give the post office like a ton of money in one of the stimulus bills just so that they could do their mail-in ballot bullcrap? Didn't they? Oh, the post office in trouble, And they gave them money hand over fist. I've been reading all the time about, oh, no, they don't have, people's packages are late, which I did send something. Somebody bought, I had a CD that I sold. Somebody bought an old one, somebody bought it. And everything's taken forever, So I'm like, why? They got all that money. People, this is what I'm saying, people still have to do business. We still have to do things, and we have to do them in a timely fashion, and we have due dates. However, the post office can't even certify mail, which is scanned. And I'm just like, and on top of that, it's going to take me how long? Because it took me a whole week to get a response, or more than that, to get a response to the complaint on the email that I sent in the first place. Then it wasn't a good enough response, and I was just like fed up. So now today I go directly to the post office, like I said, and he can't help. The guy there doesn't have the authority to give me a refund. I gotta call the claims department. You know what else is gonna happen when I call them? Because I just got home. I'm gonna have to scan everything and send it. I'm gonna have to wait for God knows how long to get a refund for $3.60. Like I said, me though, and you and all of us, the people, are going to take advantage of us being in a pandemic, and they're going to say, okay, well, you had grace periods and stuff like that. Meanwhile, we still can't get anything done. The world didn't come back. People's jobs didn't go back. The ability to move around and make something happen for yourself did not come back. But we still have to do things, and we still have deadlines and due dates. And you know what I mean? As far as I know, all the due dates and stuff are like they were before. I guess they, at the beginning of the year, a lot of the moratoriums or suspensions or whatever they wanted, grace periods or whatever, disappeared. But our lives didn't go back to normal. And it's just, this is what I'm saying. So I'm sitting there last night, I'm thinking about how our lives are not back to normal. They're never going to go back to normal, but we have not been given, but we still have to do things like things are normal. And then last night, I'm watching the Golden Globes, and I'm watching these women like Regina King, and in these beautiful gowns, probably better than the ones they usually wear at these events, in their house with the dog in the back, in the kitchen, and Kate Hudson's this gown, or sitting on her couch with ugliest pillows I've ever seen in my life. But I'm just saying to myself, then they're making fun of Bill Murray or Sean Penn, and I'm like, they look appropriate. We're in a pandemic. They shut us all down. They're trying to train people to accept a new normal. So everybody going along with it and wearing gowns, and I'm not blaming these actresses. They want to have their day. They want to take a pretty picture if they're nominated or win an award. I get that. But it's not trying to fudge it and trying to make this stuff okay, or saying let's still have the Golden Globes and everybody will do it from their house and will act like this is acceptable, is allowing the people who have screwed us all up, who have decided to change the society that was created by our ancestors and our forefathers and everybody, you know, generation after generation. We got to a certain point, and that's what the world was like in January 2020. Because people locked us down, because they want us to accept doing everything online, not being able to go to an office and get things done properly, not being able, I mean, I can't get anybody on the telephone. And some of these places, I mean, where I live, some places still don't do anything they don't do their stuff by computer. You would go in person or send things in the mail and call them on the phone. These kind of places, I can't get them on the phone. You can't go down there, and they barely do anything online. So it's like, but I still have to get things done. I still have to put things in a timely fashion. If I don't pay my phone bill, they're going to cut it off, you know? And then how are you going to do anything? Like I said, now Wi-Fi is it's more necessary than, and internet service is more necessary than a phone. But nobody's getting that for free. But now we're expected to do everything this way. And like I said, if the world had been ready, if the world had been already, we were doing everything online and stuff like that, and that's how everybody wanted to be, and everybody wanted to work from home and stuff like that, that'd be one thing when this thing hit, but it wasn't. And shutting everything down obviously collapsed everything. They're not admitting it. But like I said, when we start adjusting things and, you know, people in beautiful ball gowns on their couch trying to make something out of nothing. No, act like it's nothing. Everybody's making fun of Sean Penn. I'm like, yeah, that's what we all should look like. Sean Penn, I'm looking at, I didn't see him last night because I fell asleep. I saw the pictures this morning. I'm like, oh my God. Because all I can think of is Sky is trying to help people now. He's always trying to help people. Whenever I think of him doing stuff like that, I think of in Katrina. He like got in a boat to go rescue people by himself. This stuff affects him for some reason. Like he, you know, his dad worked in Hollywood as some kind of, like, I don't know if it was a TV director or if he made small movies, but his dad was somebody. So he grew up, you know, around the Sheens and those people. So he could be a spoiled brat, but he gets involved and does all this stuff. And he looks run over, and everybody's either saying, wow, he looks the way I feel, or everybody's like, ha, look at his hair. He looks like all the Three Stooges, which he did. But, you know, that's what we all should look like, because that's how bad things are. And I'm not blaming any of the ladies that looked pretty, because like I said, that was their thing. They wanted to have their moment. I get that, but it's a lie on top of a lie. It's lipstick on a fake pig, you know what I mean? Because it's not the Golden Globes. You know, it wasn't proper. We didn't have real movies in a movie theater. None of this, everything should have an asterisk on it, because nothing was the way it should be. You know what I mean? And as the days go on, it's getting harder and harder for some of us. We're hanging on by a thread. I've been hanging on by a thread. I've been saying that for years, but I'm not even, if you ever really look at thread, sometimes a thread has threads. Like embroidery floss has a lot of little threads. I'm hanging on the last one, you know, and it's like, I don't know how I'm forcing myself to continue on. I'm making these videos to say, well, at least I died with my boots on, you know what I mean? At least I went out saying what I think is going on and what's true, right? This noise with the people with the construction thing, they're making a driveway down the street. So this morning I was trying to be calm and do everything. Before I even left the house, it was all kinds of jackhammer noise, and then the guy was screaming because the truck wasn't right, so there's all this truck noise, and then there was another truck, and then there was a school bus going up the street, and I meant to stay home a little bit longer, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. So I went to the post office. It was truck noise everywhere. There was just trucks everywhere, post office trucks, and then delivery trucks. Everywhere I went, there was another like big rig type truck, and it was just noise. Then somebody comes by on like a dirt bike, which is the loudest dirt bike, driving down the street on a dirt bike, loudest dirt bike I've ever heard in my life. And I'm like, what's with all? It was just like huge amount of noise, and I'm just like, everybody's crazy. Then I come out of the post office. I'm hot because it got a little bit warmer. The heating systems don't understand. I swear they send the amount of heat for 3 days ago. So tomorrow it's supposed to be freezing cold. They're going to be like, oh, it was warm yesterday, so, you know, because it just, I don't know why they're supposed to adjust. They don't. The first day that it's warm, it's always freaking hot in the house or in the building, because it just trapped all the heat, and then like you said, if it goes back down. Anyway, I was hot. I pissed off coming out of the post office. I had to like walk around, my jacket open, trying to get, it took me, I mean, when I got home 2 hours later, I'm still hot, like angry hot and hot, you know, and it's just like, and I was fed up thinking about all this stuff and thinking about how it's all screwed up, and this new normal is not normal at all. It's just completely messed up. And thinking about the Golden Globes, and just, it makes me angry. Like I said, I already got upset when I saw like bands or other people having streaming concerts, because it's like, you're helping to say we're never going back. You're helping to say the society we had a year ago, done. You're helping the evildoers change everything forever. You're helping the evildoers wreck lives forever, you know. Whether there's no more proms for kids ever, everybody lives in a pod, and we end up being batteries, whatever. Everybody who, like I said, it's not to hate them, but you have to understand, the more you try to make artificial lemonade out of a rotten lemon, the more disgusting the world's going to be, the more sad everybody is. You can't, you know, pretend, well, half is good enough, or halfway to how things used to be is good enough, when there's no reason for us to shut everything. There's no reason for us to be living the way we've been living. Okay, we're at the point now where the people who believe in the strength of the virus, and that it was the horrible disease killer of people the way it was, we're to the point now where they've got their vaccines, they've got their slogans of shots in arms, you know. It's just going to force people, strap people down and force them to get vaccines. That's coming next, and everybody who goes along with it is allowing it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying if you want a vaccine or something like that. I'm saying everybody who thinks it's okay, or that the way things are being done is okay, you're part of the problem. So when you go along and you say, you know, we should say, no, don't have the Golden Globes, or everybody dress in pajamas, you know what I mean, and just put a video on YouTube thanking whoever won, you know what I mean. The reason the powers that be keep doing it is because they want us to tune in so they could still get advertising dollars for the commercials, because that's why they have shows. That's why they have shows like the Golden Globes, is to make advertising dollars. So they figure as long as you're home watching it, it doesn't really matter. So if they gave you people in pajamas, less people would have watched. They know people watch for the gowns. That's why they force the gown. But it's ridiculous. It's stupidity to see people like that. And like I said, to think people are going to have to dress in gowns to, you know, I don't know, maybe banquets or wedding receptions or whatever. They'll start telling people, oh, just dress in a bridesmaid outfit in the house, and we'll have an online what do you call it, procession of bridesmaids, and you know, it's stupid. But if people go along with it, People say, no, I want my prom. No, I want my graduation. No, I want the funerals. I mean, the only people who stuck to their guns that I could tell were some of the Hasidic Jews in Brooklyn, the ones that I think de Blasio was going to get rid of because they were like, no, sorry, we're having our funerals the way we're supposed to have it. And they stuck to their guns, and that was so 100% right. They were like the toughest people. You know, they were the ones who were like, we're not taking this crap. They stood for what they believed in, and they did the right thing. And I wish more people stood up like that. I wish the churches never closed. Like, the Catholic churches should have never said they weren't going to have masses. But they bought into the idea, or they went along with the idea that, you know, it was the right thing to do to save lives and protect the grandmas, right? On top of that, you have Cuomo, and the same people who were trying to give Cuomo an Emmy for, you know, killing a bunch of people in nursing homes, now want his head for some claims of sexual harassment, which one of them that I heard, one of the women, the second one, I guess, she said that he asked her a couple questions, and I was like, if that's sexual harassment, you know, okay, but if the same people who let him kill all those people and gave him an Emmy for it are now going to be like, oh, well, he's the worst person in the world because he said some things that were inappropriate to somebody at work. I'm tired. I'm knocking myself out, trying to hang on by a thread, dealing with all this bullshit, watching bullshit on TV, watching everybody go along with it. Everybody looks run over. Yeah, they had gowns on, but everybody looked sad. Sean Penn just always had a more expressive face, okay? Bill Murray didn't really look happy. He just had a happy shirt and a happy martini. Jason Sudeikis looked run over for multiple reasons. I mean, the minute I looked at him, I was like, that poor thing. You know what I mean? But the lie of it, I can't come up with the right word. And this stinks because I used to be good at picking the right word. The artifice, the show that is just, it's like pretending the building's not on fire, or pretending that, you know, like the band playing the thing when the Titanic was sinking. Some people think that was cool. Yeah, okay, but, you know, things are a real bad situation, and there's this push by the powers that be, like I said, because they still want to make their money. They still want to have their sporting events, and they still want to do the things they did. They did a whole NFL season with hardly any fans because advertising money is the most important thing. So that's why they need the show of it. They don't care if people get sick or if their families get sick, or, you know, the players and stuff. I mean, they'll just do what they have to do to make sure that show goes on, not because they believe in the show, not because they want people to be awarded, not because they believe in athletic excellence, because they want the money from the commercials. So we're being pushed into this virtual reality that's the biggest lie ever, and that it's tiring. It wears on you because you're trying to, you're half, you got one foot in the grave and one foot pretending everything's okay and everything's the same. And obviously our government hasn't done enough. They seem more in denial than everybody else. I don't know where we're headed. I know I'm tired. I want to go back to sleep. I want to lay here and just cry. That's what I was doing. I was thinking to myself, you know, I just want to cry. And it's like, I don't want to think about tomorrow. I don't want to do tomorrow. I don't want to keep knocking myself out where I'm too tired to do things I need to do. You know, I don't want to be scared all the time of what's going to happen next. You know, and I just don't want to do this anymore. If we can't have the old world, or we can't move on to the next step like we would have, and we have to do all that. I don't want this stuff. I don't want this bullshit. I don't want the world they're creating. And it's tiring. I don't know if you can hear the beeps and stuff like that. Like I'm saying, it's nerve-wracking. Like this morning was the loudest morning. I mean, we've had a very cold winter. Cold generally means quiet. The minute it goes above 60, people start coming with the boom cars and the parties and the barbecues. And it just goes from like nobody lives there to like everybody lives there. But today, it's just like insane. It's like everybody suddenly had to go out and do construction or had to go out and deliver stuff. It was just noise, constant noise, just like to the point where you needed earplugs, you know? And it was nerve-wracking, like I said. And I was just like, I was so angry, just so like, I can't take this anymore. I'm pushing myself, and it just gets worse, and it's just more stressful. For what? For a world I don't want. I mean, my thing is, who does want the world that they're making? Who wants that? I really feel like nobody does, except for whoever is running it. Because I swear it's like one guy or a couple people, or the one who really understands what he's doing, just wants to watch the world burn. You know? Like there is a joker who just wants to see it all crumble to the ground. Because just so everybody can be as miserable as them. That kind of person who's like, I've had, not even that they've had a hard life, they just hate things. They hate everybody and everything. And instead of just being, I don't like people, let me stay by myself and play video games, they just want to make everybody feel as shitty and as lousy as them. And their evilness allowed them to do things where they have a lot of money and a lot of influence. And they're the one just ruining everything for all of us. And when I'm saying all of us, I'm saying 99% and a lot of the 1% too. And even the people in government. Because I don't think the people in government are smart enough to know the part they're playing in destroying everything. Or they think they can destroy it and they'll make a land of milk and honey. That's not going to happen. You know? If they reset everything, it'll be rubble and people... a whole war-torn world, and it'll take generations for people to ever get back to anything. Anyway, this is what I mean, nerve-wracking. I leave the answer machine on because my nerves are shot. I don't want to react stupidly to a phone call, but the beeps and the boops still make me nervous, and most of the time I get hang-ups, and it's either, and like earlier, they don't leave a message. So it could be anything. And that's unsettling in itself. But that's the best I can do to try to keep myself on an even keel, knowing there's not a lot I can do about my life. It's been like that for years, but in this situation, I've had to sit here in this house and think about it. Just waiting for imminent doom, trying to come up with plans, trying to hang on day by day, and then I'm back in the same situation where I have a couple of bucks and I don't know what's going to happen next, and I haven't figured out what the hell I can do about it, and I just have to hold on. And in the middle of that, beeps and boops and construction noise and truck, and we can't give you a refund because we only got a ton of stimulus money back in the day, and we're the post office, but we don't know how to deliver mail, and it's... I feel like I suffer so much from people who don't do their job right. You know, they've got a job, they get a good salary, and especially if they're in a union, they can do as crappy a job as they want to, and it doesn't matter. And then sometimes it affects your life in a very bad way because somebody else didn't do their job right. That's happened to me a ton of times. You know, yeah, I should have come up with something and I should have figured it out, but in that way, I guess I'm too stupid. But there's been a lot of times, and I know it happens to everybody else, where you're constantly banging your head up against the wall, just trying to find out some information. And now it's like I said, I've never gone through a situation like this where you can't get anybody on the phone. You can't, the online thing is unsatisfactory. You know, they can't deliver mail. From the get-go, with not having toilet paper and the people who shut things down did not have things ready to go. It's still not ready. They're throwing kids back into school now because they realize they're going to eventually, it's probably about getting sued again. They realize that they'll get sued, that they completely damaged kids forever. They don't care, but they don't want to get sued. They don't want a class action lawsuit of parents saying all our kids need therapy for the rest of their lives because you ruined their childhood. Because they have. I don't know if you could put it back now. Like I said, you start going in one direction, even if it's the wrong way, you suddenly throw it into reverse. You got a machine going and you suddenly stop it, you break it. You could break the thing. You might break people. I mean, it's already breaking people, but we've been going on a stupid path. We can't just suddenly go back. That won't work. And this new normal is just not normal. I don't know if it can be fixed. So I don't know why I keep trying and knocking myself out. I don't know.